So today I'm talking about a P0702 code, what it is and how you can go about fixing it. And so what is a P0702 code? Well, it's a transmission control system electrical. And so what does this mean? Well, basically, modern vehicles have different computers that are controlling different functions. So, for example, one computer will be controlling the engine functions, another computer will be controlling the brake functions, and there's a dedicated computer that's controlling the transmission functions. This computer can be called the Powertrain control module or the transmission control module. But whatever it's called, it's controlling all the functions for the transmission. When you get this P0702 code, the main computer is seeing that this computer that's controlling the transmission is having some kind of problem, that there's some kind of issue going on with it. So it's got to be troubleshooted to know why. One thing to know with this code is very often that the engine won't crank, that the engine won't start. And this is usually because the neutral safety switch, also called the transmission range sensor, if its circuit is interrupted, then the engine's not going to be able to start. So usually, unless you're getting some kind of engine codes, once this P0702 code is fixed and the circuit for the neutral safety switch is fixed, then the engine will start. Another thing to mention about a P0702 code is that sometimes it can be kind of difficult to troubleshoot because sometimes you can be dealing with wiring and the computers, different things like this. And for this reason, if you're getting any other codes, be sure to pay attention to that because that can help point you to what the problem is. And so what would be some possible causes of a P0702 code? Well, the first thing to go and check, especially if you're getting a lot of other computer codes, is go and check the battery, be sure it's good, check the terminals and be sure those look like they're good. If there's a lot of corrosion going on those terminals or anything like this, then it's a good idea to clean them up and be sure that they're making good contact. Because basically all these computers, they all need a good stable power supply along with a good ground, or else that could cause problems, that could throw them off, and they can start giving codes. So it's a good idea to go be sure the battery's good, the terminals look like they're good. You can also check the alternator output and be sure that's good. If you have a multimeter, you can go and test this and check and see if it's good. And basically to do this, go and check what the battery voltage is with the engine off, which should range between 12.10 and 12.80 volts, something along those lines. And then you start up the engine, and the alternator is going to start charging the battery. And most vehicles are going to output like 13.5 to 14.5 volts. You can look up what your alternator is rated to output and check to see if it matches this. But usually if it outputs like 13.5 to 14.5 volts, then that means it's charging and it's good. Some very new vehicles have what's called a smart alternator, which can vary the voltage. So if you do have a vehicle with a smart alternator, you will have to look up what the rated output's supposed to be. But by far, most vehicles are going to roughly put out 13.5 to 14.5 volts. But the first thing that could cause this is a bad battery, bad terminal connections, or the alternator's not charging correctly. And the next thing that's going to cause this is that there's some kind of problem inside the wiring. There's like an open, there's a short, a blown fuse, something along those lines. It is a good idea to go check for any blown fuses. Basically check any computer-related fuses, anything labeled like PCM, TCM, ECM, ECU, anything along those lines. The basics what's going on with all these computer modules and the wiring and everything like this is going to be that there's a dedicated computer for each of the main vehicle functions. So for example, the transmission control module, that's going to be controlling all the transmission functions. There's also what's called the engine control module, which is going to be controlling all the engine functions. There's also other computer control modules like the ABS module for the brakes, the body control module for all the body functions like the door locks and things like that. Some vehicles combine the transmission control module and the engine control module into one computer. And when they do that, that's called a powertrain control module or a PCM. There's also going to be what's called a CAN bus. There's also different types of buses, but the CAN bus is very common in most vehicles. And basically when they talk about the CAN bus, it's just all the wires that run around to all these different computer control modules, along with right where they plug in and how they communicate with each other. You can kind of think of the CAN bus like Ethernet inside of a home, where you got wires running to a router, then to a computer, then all the computers inside the house can talk to each other. That's basically what a CAN bus is. So if you do start to troubleshoot a vehicle electrical problems and you hear the word CAN bus, basically that's just all the wires running around to all the different control modules. Also, if you do go to troubleshoot that electrical, you will need to get wiring schematics for that particular vehicle. That way you know for sure what's going on. But the next thing that's going to cause is that there is some kind of electrical circuit issue. And the next thing that's going to cause is that there's some kind of problem with the computer that's controlling the transmission. This could be called the transmission control module or the powertrain control module. But basically the computer that's controlling all the transmission functions might have gone bad and need to be replaced. And the first thing to do when you think you have a bad computer is be sure it's getting power, be sure it's got a good ground. Sometimes these cases even need to have a good ground on them. One thing to mention with all these computer control modules is that sometimes when they go bad, they actually get burnt components on the board. Not all the time, they can go bad and there's no burnt components on the board. But sometimes when they go bad, there'll be burnt components on the board. And so if you go up around that transmission control module or any of the other control modules and you smell like a burnt smell, then very likely there is some kind of issue with that control module. Like I said, this doesn't happen all the time, but if it does, you know there's some kind of problem. But the next thing that's going to cause this is a bad computer control module. The last thing on the list is going to be that the transmission's had some kind of failure. There's like a bad sensor or solenoid or something like that. This can be more difficult to troubleshoot because if you have a problem inside the wiring, then that can give you a code for like a sensor or solenoid, but those are good and it's really inside the wiring. So this can be a little bit more difficult to troubleshoot, but it is possible that there's like a bad sensor or a bad solenoid or something like that with the transmission that's causing a problem and it triggered this P0702 code. So the last thing on the list is going to be that there's some kind of transmission failure. And so that's basically it. I just wanted to give a basic overview of how you go about fixing a vehicle with the P0702 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.